you so much.
Thank you. Welcome to Joanne Tindall.
Pauline, just on the staff requests, because we've been doing them as we go through, could we get an update on that? Because I for one, would be interested in, Tyler leading a committee again.
On the
We're
committee?
halfway through the term, so just on that one, could be interesting. We've had a specific request for it. Is it too late?
That's okay.
So you don't want to do it?
We've got a
I don't
question
mind
on
if
the
Councillor
system.
Kewen wants to put the question through because
Yep.
we know what the response will be. So welcome. To put through for staff, yeah.
It's a question around advice on what events potentially at risk for the multicultural community if we cut event funding as proposed, such as the Christchurch Holy Festival of Colours, which relies on the events funding.
Have we captured that?
Thank you.
Vicky? Thanks, Andre. Sorry about that. Fire away. Your 5 minutes is starting now.
Thank you. Ko Joanne Tindall toku ingoa. I have concerns over the level of rates increase over the coming 2 years of the current plan and know that even though the rates increase near the end of the 10-year period is more manageable, this will change as the years progress. Council is making it so that those citizens of Christchurch that have stuck by the city throughout the hardships since the earthquakes and more recently the pandemic cannot afford to stay in their homes. I've made some comments about the different points of rates, which I won't go through because you've got those already. Through the resident survey, it's been seen that the residents of Christchurch are less than satisfied in some areas of Christchurch City Council performance. These ratings indicate to me that the residents of Christchurch are wanting us to spend money on the areas of least satisfaction. I noticed that the council is considering and wanting feedback on alternative opportunities. One of those was bid funding for major and business events. Council is funding events for community benefit through events such as the Summer Times program. I believe that we need to pull back on investing on additional major events if it requires council money when council gets little or no benefit from it. Council has a significant part in funding infrastructure such as Te Kaha, the Canterbury's multi-use arena, Parakore Recreation and Sports Centre and Naval Point to ensure that we can host world-class events in Christchurch. I know that the council has already been out to our neighbouring councils for funding assistance for those big projects because they're not just being used by Christchurch residents. We must continue to put pressure on this front. The gap between Christchurch City Council area and Selwyn District Council area is diminishing by the second with expansion in the south of the city. I believe in public services for the public good, not private profit. I believe that we must leave bid funding for major events at current levels and no increase. There's also comments about reducing services to help reduce rates increases. The resident survey showed what the residents of Christchurch were most satisfied with. Council should not be cutting services that the public expect from council, the core services. Reducing services would also affect staff on the lowest incomes in the organisation. Council should be doing more things in-house as opposed to contracting out. Consultants are very expensive. Cutbacks in funding of core services would affect the council's ability to respond to the needs of the community. Council spending should be focused on the services that the council currently provides. Council is required to respond to emergencies such as weather events, fire and earthquakes, to name just a few recent examples. All staff are required to respond to any emergency in whatever way is needed. If services are cut, Council will not have the staff to be able to respond to these types of events, and the ability of the council to respond will diminish. Christchurch City Council is currently a living wage employer, and I want to see the council remain accredited with this. meaning that all council workers are being paid the bare living wage. The long-term budget provides, the long-term plan provides the budget that includes the funding for staff. I've heard people through the submission processes over the last few days talking about rates being at a level that is affordable for all residents of Christchurch. Staff who work in Christchurch City Council are often ratepayers in Christchurch as well, and cost of living affects the staff working at the council. It is important that council reminds itself that one of the most important resources that the council has is its people. Thank you for the opportunity for
Thank you very much.
presenting.
That's perfectly timed. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to Nolene Marsh.